Welcome, deep divers. You know those stories where something really trivial, maybe even a bit silly, suddenly spirals? It just completely transforms into something serious, even deadly.
Oh, absolutely. Like a casual comment or, in this case, a prank.
Exactly. Imagine this. A classic English country house, okay? Full of these, bright young things, socialites, and they cook up this ridiculous prank involving alarm clocks.
Sounds harmless enough. Maybe a bit annoying for the target.
Right. But what if that prank didn't just wake someone up? What if it, ripped the curtain back on a really sinister secret society, maybe even an international espionage ring?
Now that sounds like classic Agatha Christie.
Yeah.
Taking the very ordinary, the very British, and layering something dark underneath. Deceptively simple.
Spot on. Today we're doing a deep dive into excerpts from Christie's The Seven Dials mystery. And if you know Christie, you know this isn't just your standard whodunit. It's really a masterclass in misdirection. It shows how the most everyday things can hide some truly dangerous plots.
Yeah. And our mission today really is to pull back that curtain on Seven Dials. We want to kind of dissect Christie's method here. Look at how she connects this seemingly innocent prank to these mysterious deaths and the really surprising people caught up in it all.
So get ready for those twists. You know the ones, those aha moments Christie is famous for, where you have to completely rethink who the good guys and the bad guys actually are. Let's jump in.
Okay.
So our story kicks off at Chimneys. It's this grand historic mansion, right? And it's being rented by Sir Oswald Coote. He's a self-made man, industrial magnate type. Pretty proud of how he climbed the ladder.
Right. Started with a bicycle shop, I think.
Yeah.
And his wife, Lady Coote. She's described with these large, dark, mournful eyes, always looking like she's carrying some terrible secret sorrow.
Yeah, she's got this whole tragic sort of fashion thing going on. But the genius here, and Christie does this so well, is that her big sorrow. It's not some huge tragedy, is it?
Not at all. It's actually quite funny when you look closer. Her terrible secret sorrow is basically just that she misses her simpler life. She feels, and the book says this, marooned on a desert island by this huge staff housemaids, a butler like an archbishop. She just doesn't know how to handle it all.
It's brilliant misdirection right from the start, isn't it? You expect something profound, maybe a dark past, but no, it's just domestic awkwardness. It kind of grounds the whole thing, even with the posh setting.
Definitely sets the tone. And amidst this sort of slightly chaotic upper crust life, you've got the house guests, the young crowd.
Right. There's Jimmy Thesiger, seems amiable enough, but often plays the ass, you know. His friends Bill Eversleigh and Ronny Devereux, they work at the Foreign Office, but mostly in a, quote, purely ornamental capacity.
Yeah, ornamental. Love that.
And the girls, Helen, Nancy, and one nicknamed Socks, who apparently loves the word subtle. Oh, and Sir Oswald's private secretary, Rupert Bateman, very serious, very efficient. Jimmy calls him Pongo.
So you have this group, this youthful, maybe slightly frivolous set. They seem exactly the type to hatch a ridiculous prank.
And that's exactly what they do. Their target is Gerry Wade, who's notorious for oversleeping. Pongo Rupert Bateman, he suggests, sensibly just one alarm clock.
Where's the fun in that?
Exactly. Too simple. So Bill and Ronny, they head off to market basing, and they end up bringing back 8 alarm clocks.
8, okay.
Set them to go off one after another, starting at 6:30 in the morning. Guaranteed to wake Gerry up, right? Just a bit of fun. But this is Christie, so fun turns sour fast.
It really does. Because the next morning, they don't find a groggy, annoyed Gerry Wade. They find him dead in his room.
Shocking discovery. The doctor comes, initial diagnosis, an overdose of chloral hydrate. It was a common sedative back then, so it looks like a tragic accident. Maybe he took too much to sleep.
Seems straightforward. But as you said, Christie rarely gives us straightforward.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Well, everyone's trying to process this. Jimmy Thesiger, the amiable ass, he notices something. The alarm clocks, the 8 they bought, they're all neatly lined up on Gerry's mantelpiece. But Jimmy points out,
Let me guess.
there are only 7 of them, not 8. One of them's missing. He even comments on the weird mix of farce and tragedy. It feels tiny, doesn't it? Just one missing clock.
But with Christie, tiny details are never just tiny details, are they? That missing 8th flock. What does it really mean? What she's signaling to us right at the start.
This classic Christie, isn't it? She plants this little discrepancy, this number 7 right there. It's almost like a signature. It immediately links, even if we don't know how yet, to the 7 Dials name that comes up later. It tells you, the listener, pay attention to the numbers, pay attention to what's missing.
Exactly. It reframes the whole prank. Suddenly, it's not just farce. It's potentially a clue.
Yeah.
A chilling one.
Yeah, and the suspicion starts bubbling almost right away. Ronny Devereux, for instance, he initially blurts out something about suspecting foul play when they find Gerry.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, but then he quickly backtracks, denies it to the doctor. It's one of those little moments where you think, what did he know? Or what did he think he knew?
Interesting. And soon after this, we meet Bundle, Lady Eileen Brent. She's Lord Caterham's daughter, and she's described as really energetic, quick-thinking, not easily fazed.
No, her first reaction to hearing about a death in the house her father rented out is basically that it's inconsiderate of the deceased. She's very direct, which makes her a great character to push the plot forward.
Definitely. And Bundle, being Bundle, she doesn't just sit around. She finds something crucial. An unfinished letter from Gerry Wade to his half-sister Lorraine, written the night he died.
Right. And the letter itself is odd, full of contradictions. Gerry says he's feeling awfully fit, but in the next breath, he's so sleepy I can't keep my eyes open. Which is weird, right?
Very weird. Suggests maybe something was affecting him even as he wrote it. Like the chloral.
Possibly. But the real bombshell is the warning he gives Lorraine. He says, forget what I said about that 7 dials business. I thought it was going to be more or less of a joke, but it isn't anything but.
7 dials. There it is again. First, linked maybe symbolically to the clocks, now explicitly named as something dangerous, not a joke.
Exactly. Christie's building it up. First, it's maybe just a name Gerry thought of. Now it's connected to real fear, real danger in his last hours. The stakes just went up. It's not just a country house death anymore.
No, this smells bigger. International, maybe.
And then things escalate dramatically. Bundle's driving, and suddenly this man just sort of reels out from a hedge into the road. She hits him, or thinks she does.
Oh no. Who is it?
It's Ronny Devereux, the same Ronny who suspected foul play earlier. But here's the twist. The doctor later confirms he wasn't killed by the car. He was shot.
Shot. Okay, so someone silenced him.
And his dying words, uttered to Bundle as she reaches him, 7 dials, tell Jimmy Thesiger.
Chilling. 7 dials again. And specifically, mentioning Jimmy Thesiger. So you've got the letter, the dying whisper. These fragments are starting to connect, aren't they?
Definitely forming a pattern, always 7 dials, always linked to death or danger. How is Christie using this recurring name? Is it just a pointer, or is it also meant to mislead us somehow?
Good question. It certainly focuses our attention. And then Bundle's father, Lord Caterham, adds another piece. He reveals that this politician friend, George Lomax, Cotters, they call him, he got a warning letter.
Let me guess where it was from.
You got it. Written from 7 dials. Warning him about a political party he's planning to host. So the name is just everywhere now. Connected to Gerry, Ronny, and now this politician.
Okay, so with all this going on, Gerry's death, Ronny's murder, the letters Bundle, Jimmy, and Gerry's half-sister Lorraine decide they have to investigate this themselves, unofficially.
Makes sense. The police seem to think Gerry's death was an accident, right?
Initially, yes. Jimmy tells them Ronny suspected foul play all along and was trying to figure things out on his own, working a lone hand. And Lorraine remembers something else.
What's that?
She'd accidentally opened a previous letter of Gerry's. He'd mentioned the mafia and a secret society, and that letter had a list of names and dates and an address in 7 dials.
So Gerry was already involved, or at least knew about it, before the house party. And an address. Now it's a physical place.
Exactly. And this is where Bundle has that light bulb moment. She connects Jimmy's observation back at Chimneys, the 7 clocks left on the mantelpiece, directly to the name of this organization, 7 dials.
7 clocks, 7 dials. It can't be a coincidence.
No way. That's the moment it clicks. The prank, the death, the society, they're all linked by that number. Christie brilliantly ties that seemingly trivial detail from the start right into the heart of the conspiracy.
It's fantastic plotting. So what does Bundle do with this realization?
Well, being Bundle, she doesn't wait around. She marches off to Scotland Yard to see Superintendent Battle. Bold move.
What does she ask him?
Gets straight to the point. Asks for a list of secret societies operating in the 7 dials area of London.
No.
Just like that. Just like that. Battle, of course, is very cautious, very expressionless. But he confirms he knows about Ronny being shot and about Lomax getting that warning letter. And then he drops a little hint. Suggests Bill Eversleigh might know more than he's letting on.
Battle. He's always interesting. That expressionless face, the subtle hints. What should we, as readers familiar with Christie, be thinking when Battle acts like that?
It's a signal, isn't it? Battle's calm, almost nonchalant manner, even when discussing murder and warnings. It's partly his professional demeanor, but Christie uses it brilliantly. Is he just observing? Or is he maybe involved? It plants a seed of doubt, or at least curiosity, about his true role. He seems like the steady detective, which makes him the perfect cover.
A potential misdirection, or maybe something more. Okay, so Bundle gets this hint about Bill, but does she follow up?
Not immediately. Instead, she decides to go straight to the source, the Seven Dials Club itself. The address Lorraine remembered was 14 Hunstanton Street. She figures out how to get inside.
Oh.
She tracks down Alfred, who used to be a footman at Chimneys before being replaced. Turns out he's running this club, paid very well by someone named Mr. Moskarovsky. Bundle basically confronts him and gets access.
Resourceful. What does she find inside?
Well, the front is just a sort of gambling den. Nothing too unusual. But behind that, there's a hidden room. Soundproof.
Ah, the inner sanctum.
Exactly. And inside, a long table, 7 chairs around it, plus one big, imposing chair at the head. 7 again. Bundle, never one to miss an opportunity, hides herself in a cupboard just as a meeting is about to start.
Classic. Hiding in the cupboard. You have to love it. What does she see?
She sees the members arrive for a secret meeting. They're wearing these really weird masks, clock masks, with the hands pointing to different hours, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock.
Creepy.
Clock masks. Okay, that's definitely signaling something. Who's there? The Russian proprietor, Moskarovsky, is leading it. And then, one by one, Bundle starts figuring out who's behind the masks. No, 3. It's Bill Eversleigh.
Bill, the one Battle hinted about.
Yep. No, 5 is a Count Letras from the Hungarian embassy. No. 4 is an American journalist, Hayward Phelps. And number 1, this is a surprise, it's Countess Ratsky. But Bundle later realizes she's actually Babe St. Maur, Ronny Devereux's fiancée.
Ronny's fiancée. Why is she there, masked?
Turns out she joined the society, taking on this role, specifically to find out who killed Ronny.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what are they discussing in this secret meeting?
They talk about No, 2. That was Ronny's number, obviously vacant now. And they mention the leader, the really powerful, mysteriousness to 7 who isn't present. Their main agenda, stealing some valuable scientific formula belonging to a Herr Eberhard. And they plan to do it at George Lomax's upcoming house party at Wyvern Abbey.
The party Lomax got the warning letter about. It's all coming together. And that formula must be the big prize.
Absolutely. But the most brilliant connection for Bundle, and for us, is realizing that the 7 clocks Gerry had, matching the 7 chairs, matching the 7 active members, excluding number 7, it all clicks. The prank wasn't just a prank, it was tied to the very structure of this secret society.
That's the genius link. Taking that initial, seemingly childish detail and making it the symbolic key to this whole international conspiracy plot. Fantastic.
So now all eyes are on Wyvern Abbey, Lomax's place. The stage is set for this high-stakes house party. Jimmy Thesiger manages to get himself invited by suddenly pretending he's super interested in politics, which amuses Lomax.
And who else shows up?
Superintendent Battle, naturally. He arrives seemingly just as a casual guest, enjoying the country air, but he quietly warns Lomax against any unpleasantness happening over the weekend. Subtle, but knowing Battle, it's loaded.
Right. His presence changes how we see everything that follows. We know he's there, watching.
Yeah.
How does that affect our view of the chaos that's about to unfold?
It makes us question everything, doesn't it? Is he just observing, or is he subtly influencing events? So, the night of the planned theft arrives. Jimmy and Bill are supposed to be guarding Terence O'Rourke, the Air Minister's secretary, who has the formula. They're doing watches.
Sounds official. But Bundle's not the type to sit back, is she?
Not a chance. She gets impatient, feels like she's being sidelined, so she decides to do her own patrol, climbs down the ivy outside her window. Very dramatic.
Of course she does. Who does she run into?
Superintendent Battle, out for a stroll. He tells her, rather cryptically, to go back to bed, but adds that she probably won't be the only one interested in the West Terrace tonight, almost like he's giving her a hint.
Interesting. So what happens with the heist?
Well, it goes down, sort of. O'Rourke is found drugged, the formula is gone, and Jimmy Thesiger is discovered nearby, apparently shot in the arm, unconscious.
Shot? Seriously?
That's the story he tells when he comes around. Says he fought with a cat burglar who was incredibly strong as an ox, and got shot in the struggle.
A cat burglar? Sounds a bit convenient. Is the formula lost?
No. Because Lorraine, Gerry's half-sister, she claims she accidentally saw someone climbing down the ivy, saw them drop a packet, picked it up, and ran straight into Superintendent Battle, handing it over. The formula is safe.
Accidentally?
Yeah.
Right. There are a lot of convenient accidents and stories floating around that night.
Exactly. It's pure chaos. You've got Jimmy shot, O'Rourke drugged, Lorraine finding the formula, Battle just happening to be there. Even Sir Oswald Coote was apparently restless and wandering about, finding a second pistol just lying on the grounds near the house.
A second pistol. Okay, red herrings everywhere. And Sir Oswald's secretary, Bongo, Bateman, was he involved?
Well, Sir Oswald trusts Bateman completely, that's noted. But Bundle and Jimmy, they initially suspect the Countess Radsky, Babe St. Mar, and maybe Bauer, the footman who replaced Alfred at Chimneys, were involved, maybe trying to frame Bauer. Battle notes the Countess seems suspicious. It's all very confusing.
It feels deliberately confusing. Christie is throwing out possibilities, the Countess, Bauer, the cat burglar. How does she use this chaos to hide what's really happening?
It's perfectly done. All these plausible, dramatic events, the drugging, the struggle, the accidental recovery, create a surface narrative that seems to explain everything. It draws your attention, the listener's attention, away from the inconsistencies, away from the person quietly pulling the strings. We're distracted by the noise.
Right. We're focused on the who among the obvious suspects, not the how or the why things happened exactly as they did.
Okay, now we head towards the grand finale. Everything starts to unravel, or rather gets twisted one last time before the truth comes out. First, George and Lomax proposes marriage to Bundle, which is just ludicrous.
He says, oh dear.
Yeah, she's not impressed. Then Jimmy calls, urgently. Tells Bundle and Lorraine they absolutely have to come to the Seven Dials Club right away. Says Bill Eversleigh has an amazing story to tell them.
Sounds dramatic. And dangerous going back there.
Bundle thinks so too. She actually takes steps to get rid of Alfred, the guy running the club, believing he's a risk. Pretty ruthless. But when they get there, things go wrong again. Bill is found slumped in the car. Looks like he's been drugged.
Bill drugged after he supposedly had a story.
Yep. Jimmy gives the girls his automatic pistol for protection, then goes inside the club. Bundle follows, and bam! She gets sandbagged from behind in the secret meeting room, knocked out cold.
Oh, wow. It just keeps escalating. What happens when she wakes up?
She wakes up, still groggy, and overhears Bill Eversleigh declaring his love for her and proposing marriage. He thinks she's still unconscious.
Huh. A proposal amidst the chaos. That's quite something.
A surprisingly sweet moment, actually. But then things get serious again fast. Moskorowski, the club owner, summons Bundle. There's an emergency meeting of the Seven Dials Society, and he offers her Ronny's old spot noted 2.
Offers her membership after all this.
Yep. And then the big reveal. The mysterious leader, No. 7, finally appears, removes his mask, and Bundle is absolutely dumbfounded to see Superintendent Battle.
Battle. Knew it. Well, suspected it. That is a magnificent twist. Classic Christie. How does she make it work so well? We see Battle all along, the symbol of the law.
That's exactly why it works. He's hiding in plain sight. His official role, his calm, expressionless face, his subtle comments, they all create this perfect camouflage. We assume he's the detective investigating the mystery, not the one at the center of it. She plays on our assumptions about his archetype.
It leverages our expectations perfectly, so Battle explains everything.
He lays it all out. The real Seven Dials, not criminals. It's actually an anti-Bolshevist secret service, set up originally by Gerry Wade himself.
Gerry Wade started it. Wow.
Yeah, to counter some big international crime ring. Remember, Bolshevist at the time referred to the communist movement, particularly in Russia, which was a major political concern when Christie was writing. So Moskorowski, the Russian owner, he's actually Battle's top agent, his lieutenant, the masked members, all patriots working for Britain.
Okay, mind blown. So who killed Gerry then, if they were all on the same side?
The killer was Jimmy Thesiger.
Jimmy. The amiable ass.
The very same. He slipped the chloral into Gerry's bedtime drink. Then he staged the scene, put the bottle and glass there. Why? He desperately needed money. His easy charm hid serious financial problems.
That's stunning. And Gerry's clocks. The 7 clocks.
That was Gerry's own touch, a final message. He knew the society used numbers, the clock motif. Leaving 7 clocks was his way of symbolizing the society, maybe trying to warn them or point a finger at the killer within their circle. That completely changes how you see Jimmy, doesn't it? Every charming, silly moment suddenly looks sinister. What does a twist like that do to you, the reader?
It's deeply unsettling, in a brilliant way. Christie makes us trust the charming surface, the harmless facade. Then she rips it away. It forces you to question judgment, appearances. How well do you really know anyone? It's psychologically very effective. And Battle confirms Jimmy also killed Ronny Devereux.
Wait, Ronny?
Ronny figured out Jimmy killed Gerry. And Lorraine, Gerry's sister, she was completely devoted to Jimmy, trusted him implicitly. She unknowingly passed bits of information to Jimmy that helped him realize Ronny was onto him. So Jimmy silenced Ronny before he could properly warn 7 dials, meaning battle. Ronny's dying words, "Tell Jimmy Thesiger," were tragically misinterpreted by Bundle. He was likely trying to accuse him.
Oh, wow. That makes his death even more tragic. And the chaos at Wyvern Abbey.
All orchestrated by Battle. He suspected Jimmy was the real villain. The warning letter Lomax got, sent by Battle's own group, the real 7 dials, to ensure Battle would be invited and present at the Abbey.
So Battle could watch Jimmy.
And set a trap. Jimmy, the empty-headed young ass, as Battle calls him, walks right into it. He staged the whole formula theft, drugged O'Rourke, faked being shot.
And his wounded arm.
That was actually real, but from an earlier struggle with Ronny. Ironically, because his arm was already injured, it lessened the impact when Jimmy sandbagged Bundle later at the club, probably saving her from serious harm or worse.
Incredible. Every detail accounted for. What about Pongo? Rupert Bateman.
Totally cleared. In fact, the serious, quiet Bateman had suspected Jimmy all along. He'd even tried to voice his concerns about Jimmy's character to Sir Oswald Coote. But Sir Oswald, like everyone else, just saw Jimmy as harmless.
The sensible one was right, but nobody listened because he wasn't flashy. Another layer of irony.
Exactly.
Huh?
The quiet observer saw the truth.
So, the web is finally untangled. Jimmy Thesiger is arrested. Justice is served. And on a happier note,
Bundle and Bill Eversleigh get engaged, much to the relief and delight of Bundle's father, Lord Caterham, who seems particularly pleased that Bill plays scratch golf.
a very practical consideration for Lord Caterham. A nice light touch to end on after all that espionage.
Absolutely. It's just the sheer cleverness of Battle's long game and Christie's plotting, every clue, every red herring, every character's hidden depth, all woven together so precisely. It really is a masterclass in that theme of appearance versus reality.
What a ride that was. From a silly prank with alarm clocks to, well, an anti-crime Secret Service saving the day, with the hero and villain being the last people you'd expect.
I think the big takeaway has to be that theme, appearance versus reality. Christie hammers it home. The charming friend is the killer. The bumbling colleague is a secret agent. The stern superintendent is the mastermind patriot. It just constantly reminds you, don't judge by the surface. You really never know what's going to be important or what isn't.
Yeah, it definitely shows how easily we can be fooled by appearances, how trust can be manipulated, and how actions, even ones meant as a joke, can kick off something far bigger and more dangerous. It does make you think, doesn't it? About the little things, the seemingly insignificant details in life. Could they be pointing to something larger, something hidden?
Maybe it's worth looking a little closer sometimes. Danger, or maybe even discovery, can hide in very unexpected corners.
A thought to ponder. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the twists and turns of the 7 Dials mystery.
Keep looking beneath the surface.